So Sarah, 39, Mrs. South Africa finalist as we are shooting. Interesting life. I loved hearing some of your stories. I think you're a very fascinating person. And I'm curious, I mean, I'd really like to know more about it, if that's fine. And, you know, I always find at my age, there's so much that I've learned in the time that I've been around, which is not a long time. I mean, 39 is very young. But I also hang out with very old people, or much older people. So, you know, my average age or friend age would be about 50, 60 years old, which is, you know, quite senior to myself. And I find that I learn a lot from them. For whatever reason they want to share, you know, their past, and they want to tell us about the things that they've learned and the things that they don't want younger people to maybe learn the hard way. And I feel that that's true for us as well. I mean, you know, you're 39, I'm also 39. I feel that guys in their 20s can learn one or two things, so that certain, you know, parts of life become easier. Life is really tough, but it's tough because of things that we create in our minds, barricades we put up or that our parents put up for us, that societal norms dictate, you know, you conform within, and it creates a lot of anxiety, I suppose. And I'd like to know, I mean, share your story if you feel comfortable, and let's unpack it a bit, if that's fine with you.
Yeah, no, sure. Thanks, Theo. So yeah, my background is that I went to all-girls school for 12 years. So I have only really been, well, I had only really been exposed to girls, and then I had a sister. So again, only exposed to girls. And so in high school, when I was in the chamber choir, which is, there's like a normal choir, and then there's a chamber choir which tours internationally. So I've actually represented South Africa.
That's amazing.
For singing in Wales in Standard 8, which is grade 10 for those of you who...
You're still young.
Yeah, I was a year young for school. So yeah, when we were singing, we joined a boys' school, a local boys' school, and I discovered boys. So that was an interesting dynamic to have in my life. And
how old were you when you discovered boys?
15.
Jeez, okay. Wrong time, eh? That's the wrong time to discover boys.
Wrong time, and I mean, I've got a 14-year-old at the moment, so I'm kind of watching.
You're panicking.
And she has got her first boyfriend, but he lives very far away, so I'm going to keep it that way. Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of, when I met my first boyfriend, he was quite a lot older than me. As you say, I also navigate towards older people. And so he was going through university and things like that, while I was still stuck at school. So after 3 years it ended. So I don't want to use the word rebel, but I wasn't really interested at school in academics. It wasn't something that interested me. That's one thing I do want to say is the privilege of education is something that should not be taken lightly. I know while you're there you feel trapped, as I remember very clearly, but it is the basis and foundation for the rest of your life. And I mean, my two eldest daughters are at school at the moment, so I know they're going through exams. I know it's tough, but it's literally the foundation of whatever your life will become or whatever you choose. So yeah, after school rebelled a bit. I actually missed my registration for university. I was at the yacht club having a lunch.
Party. Oh, nice.
Party. So not my parents' most proud moment. But I did register eventually, and I started my BCom at UKZN. Then economics came. So that was challenging because I'm not a numbers person, I'm a creative. I love doing makeup, I love designing things, I love marketing, I love sales, I love people. I don't love numbers, I don't love graphs. So that took me a while to pass, and then I actually moved across to Varsity College where I completed my degree. But in the meantime, my boyfriend from matric had reached out to me again, and so we started dating and we got married in 2010.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been married for 15 years now. We had our first child very quickly. So I think in 2011 she came, and then I fell pregnant when she was 5 months old. So everything was very perfect and like organized. You know, I cooked dinners, I pre-planned everything. I had the grocery list, and yeah, life kind of took a turn. I wouldn't change anything because the lessons I've learned have been unbelievable, very hard for the people around me, I think. But I know that they're really proud of me because they tell me. And yeah, so my second daughter came, and life was just not perfect anymore, just because of the fact that, you know, there's
babies.
two, and they're 14 months apart.
Yeah.
Financially, we were going through a rough time as well, and we actually sold our house and started renting. So I think that within my mind was a bit of a shift. And on that point, I just want to speak about how on this journey with Mrs. South Africa, it's been made very clear to me that you need to stay in a very positive and intentionally positive mindset. And every day you have to choose positivity. And I know that sounds cheesy, and I know that sounds like something you really don't want to do probably, but it is so important, because life, every day there are battles and things that get thrown your way, because life carries on.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
how do you stay positive though? Like what's the trick? What's the key here?
So it's to find things, I think, and it's been interesting because I've got a mentor with Mrs. South Africa, and I listen to what she does when she feels like she's going to explode. So for her, it's going to walk on the beach, and we're so blessed in KZN that we do have the most gorgeous beach here.
Yeah.
So I think for me personally, it's getting my feet on the ground with no heels on, feeling the grass, feeling the sand, feeling the water, just
That connection with nature.
With nature, yeah.
You're saying such a funny thing, because like my whole life, it's one of the things I love. I love being barefoot. And we're told we're not supposed to be barefoot. You have to wear shoes, and we're civilized, etc., etc. But there's something about that feeling, walking on fresh grass or walking on, the beach. It's putting your feet in water. It's like this weird thing. It really does almost neutralize your energy, or I don't want to sound like a shaman or one of those guys.
No,
it literally feels that way, and I always find it amazing. And I encourage my daughter, because she loves being barefoot as well. I encourage her to do it. Like, there's really no need to be wearing shoes 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly. No, I think it's good to talk about these things so that to help younger generations understand that it is a thing, and how to navigate that. So other things I do is to actually reach out and help someone else when I'm feeling in a negative headspace.
Pay it forward, pay it back. Yeah, love it.
And so my girls hate it, because they'll phone me from boarding and they'll be complaining about something, and I'll say, stop, look up. There will be someone around you in pain, and go help that person. So for me on Mrs. South Africa journey, it's been amazing, because there's been so many opportunities to help other people, and I found the areas that I'm passionate about, and I think that's a personal thing for everyone on their own journey, whatever they are passionate about. For me, it's definitely something that's been highlighted is mental health. So I actually went to the Durban Coastal Mental Facility a couple of weeks back, and I was so taken aback by the people that were there. The first thing they did is wanted to connect, so they ran up to me and hugged me. And many of those people, their families dropped them off there because they've got disabilities.
All right.
They don't get visited.
Of course.
And I think that's important for the public to know, because it's, get out of your own life and go give back. There's such a need out there.
Sure.
Another thing I'm very, very invested in is men's mental wellness, especially in South Africa, where everything's about, I love rugby, but everything's about rugby and drinking and everything. And I think there hasn't ever been a safe space for men in South Africa to be given to share their emotions and without being seen as weak or
sharing your vulnerabilities without being judged.
Exactly. And I don't know what that looks like yet, where that space is going to be or what platform it's going to be on, but it's something I'm very passionate about, because I know the second my partner reconnected with his emotions and understood where he was battling and how he could maybe help me, it changed everything.
Great.
So yeah, definitely that. I think also something that's been very prominent in this journey is that you have to make time for yourself. Yeah.
Put yourself first. Put your own mask on before trying to help.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
Life is busy, and I have a diary, a digital one and an actual page one.
Love it.
Paper, and it's to put, I call it focus time, and it's to have those 2 hours of block book time for me. Whatever that looks like. If I want to go for a massage, if I want to connect with a friend, that's very important to have friends.
Yeah.
Separate to your marriage or your partner or your family, very important. And so that's really helped me, because otherwise my calendar is just unmanageable.
I can imagine, yeah.
And connecting with someone greater than yourself. So believing in someone greater than yourself, I think, is important.
A spiritual journey.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So you were telling us about how, you went through university, you managed to get your degree. That was a bit tough for you, but you managed to get it. And then, you went and you had your kids and you pursued Mrs. South Africa. That's where we are now. And that's been a great journey for you, emotionally, spiritually, and it's also highlighted a lot of the problem areas in South Africa around men's mental health. And you also said that it's really important for people to connect. And I love that example you gave of how you went to, the facility that was treating people with mental struggles. And the first thing they wanted was to connect. And I think it's amazing, because we brought up in a world where it's actually taboo to connect with people. And I find myself in that situation often, because I'm very much that type of person. Like, I really want to connect with people, but I'm very choosy about who I connect with, because a lot of people sort of use that in an abusive way. They'll try to damage you, and I have no idea why, but they do it. They try and damage you because they feel that maybe it's a vulnerability that they can exploit.
Yeah.
But then once in a while you really do meet someone that's really just a wholesome person, and that does wonders for you as a person. I mean, it really helps you a lot with becoming more aware of all the goodness that there is in this world.
Yeah.
And that helps me, positivity. I haven't had that issue like in a very long time. I'd say for nearly 10 years now, where I've needed to keep myself positive. I've just been positive. I'm very blessed in that way. But it's literally when I started realizing that there's a lot of good, but you have to be conscious of that, and you have to be open to allowing that into your life.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and being very, very selfish almost in not allowing bad elements in. And unfortunately that comes in like weird ways. It's like, it's family, it's friends, it's people that are supposed to be there and supposed to be on your side, and suddenly these are the people causing anxiety in your life and giving you grief and wanting misery to be part of your life, because misery is in their life, so it must be in your life as well. And it's weird, like you get to this stage where you're just able to say no thank you. I love you to bits, and it's great that we related and all of that, but this is like the corner that you're going to stay in.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the world, because I feel like there's so much of good, but we closed off to it. And I think like you highlighted, men are told you're not supposed to be vulnerable, you're not supposed to be emotionally seen as too open. You can't be overt in your feelings. And I love watching these rom-coms. Anyway, my wife and I, we sit and we watch these things, and I'm like, but that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to hide until the third, fourth, fifth date. Like, if you like someone, say that you like them. It's not an issue. If you're enjoying someone's company, that's great. You should enjoy someone's company. The world has enough good people that if the good people sort of clung on to each other or fed off of each other, there'd be less bad. This is my personal opinion.
No, I agree. I agree completely, and I think that's why, another reason why I like the Mrs. South Africa journey, because it doesn't force you, but it kind of guides you to finding people that want to help. Because at the end of the day, I was speaking about it actually today, there have been a lot of people that have supported me, but then there have been some people that haven't supported me, and that's okay. But it's to now know who has supported me, who wants to see me do well, and who believes in me, and who wants to help me help the causes that I believe in. So like for my fundraiser, all of the funds went to SACA, the South African Animal Cancer Association. But I, instead of doing a glamorous high tea or something that everyone expected, and like most of the other ladies did, I actually gave back to the community that I've been teaching for the last 4 years. So in Mulweni up in Bananda, there is a little creche there, and I've been teaching basic English and then art, obviously with Panda Paints.
And just for everyone else, Panda Paints is well, you say it rather.
It's so it's a family business. It's been established since 1979, and we manufacture non-toxic paints and glues for art, as well as I think there's 90 other products: clay, paper mache, dyes, and we import a range of art materials.
Cool. 46 years old, eh?
Yes.
Excellent. Wow.
Yeah. No. Yeah, a wonderful company, and so I'm allowed on a Tuesday to go out and use my hours to teach these children. And so for the fundraiser, I invited them, as well as 15 other creches around Mulweni, to come and do a colour run powder event.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So which we manufacture. So
like the Holi Festival, like what the Indian people love doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was funny seeing some of their reactions, because, and I think it was a bittersweet moment. A lot of them absolutely loved it. They were running through tunnels of colour and laughter and fun. But then there were a few that I noticed had anxiety, and it was around the fact that, this was their only pretty dress.
Oh, of course. Shame. Okay.
And they'd been sent to school for this fun day out, and out was,
gonna get colour all over it.
My heart is just, I wish I had had someone like a clothing brand on board to be like, here we go, there's also a dress or a top and shorts to give them that day. But that's a dream that'll maybe come true. So my fundraiser has been amazing, and then also the launch for Women in AI that I did this year is something that's been very empowering. I think AI and tech is a space that generally men are kind of seen to be at the forefront of it.
Okay.
And drawn to it, yeah. And I think I'm really grateful to the person that gave me the opportunity to launch that event and learn about AI, because without that day I wouldn't have learnt about it and how I can use it.
What's the most remarkable thing you've learnt about AI?
I could talk on this topic for a while, but I won't. So I didn't know that there wasn't only ChatGPT. I only learned about DeepSeek and things like, all the different platforms.
Sure.
Once I was part of that industry. I didn't know that my phone listened to me 24/7, and that was...
What phone have you got?
iPhone.
Really? So Apple's listening to us constantly?
Unless it's off. So that gave me a sense of like, okay, at least I can turn it off and then...
Okay.
But there are other devices that listen to you through Bluetooth, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, very interesting. But I am not an anti-AI person, because I have seen how I can help. I am in an industry where, marketing, Mrs. South Africa, there's a lot of content that I have to come up with, and it does assist with, the more generic stuff. and then that it learns about me, and I can input a whole bunch of information and it feeds back like a summarized version, is just very, very useful.
It's very useful. The tools they've come up with are definitely making life easier for those of us that are more open to it and open to using it. I think it creates a lot of anxiety because people just don't know what's going to happen. Where's that turn? And a lot of us grew up during Terminator movies.
Yes,
and like we're waiting for the robots to turn on us, which I think, personally, I don't think it's something that's likely to happen. And I say that only because I always think logically, like a machine is logical, right? Like, what would the purpose be of eliminating human beings? There's no benefit in that. There's no value in that. But definitely, I do think it's going to create changes in society. The way we thought about money, the way we thought about the world, the way we thought about our purpose in terms of our function and what we studied and what we do, between 9 to 5. Even the concept of 9 to 5, in my personal opinion, is just going to change drastically.
Yeah.
And I think it's exciting times. I think it's amazing that we get to see it. It's amazing that we got to see in our lifetimes, like internet. And then suddenly it was, a host of other things. And now we're at a place where, you've got cars that are driving themselves. You've got, homes that are no longer, you mentioned that you guys went and rented a place. You don't actually have to own a home anymore, but you've got a place that you can live, which is cool. And now we're going into a place where AI might start making, it could make life very easy for us, where you don't actually have to go to school anymore, but you could learn constantly. That concept of having to be at school to learn, I think, is a little bit archaic. I think you mentioned when you were at school, you felt very trapped. And it's a weird system. Like, we literally drop our kids off. They're stuck in this prison-like environment for that time. We trust and hope that the teachers are, mindful of their well-being. We hope that the other inmates, the other children, are not going to cause them any harm.
Yeah.
And we, go at a certain time and pick them up, and we hope that their mental health hasn't been affected by this estrangement and this abandonment during those hours. But we've gotten so used to it. It's like it's a norm. So, everyone does it. You have to do it. You don't have a choice. But I think the concept will change. I think there's learning that can happen everywhere.
Yeah, I've noticed, so obviously with Panda Paints, we deal a lot with the schools. So I have noticed that a lot of homeschools are opening. And whilst I agree with your sentiment, I think we're going to have to remember that we still need connection at the end of the day. So everyone can go off to their own pods, but I would encourage people to meet in pods, learning pods almost, so that you can have the debates. And one of the most powerful things given to me at school was the art of public speaking. They pushed us to speak and do PowerPoint presentations and orals, impromptu, I think it's called impromptu,
yeah.
That one. And we were given like a random word and had to come up with the oral. And I loved that side of my schooling. But yeah, AI will change learning. I can already see that it has. But I think we just need to remember to connect to each other. Otherwise, we're going to all be alone.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think it gives you more time. If I had to think of the time that we focus, it's 18 years of your life that you've pretty much done very little. You've gotten a matric certification, which is valuable. We both agree the foundation is very important. But during that time, it's quite formative years. Your almost your best youthful, most exuberant and most hungry years are in that period. And that's the period where you are contained almost to a set group of people, a set environment, and obviously set subjects that get facilitated and curated for your well-being. And in that time, I feel how wonderful would it be if you could, if money wasn't a constraint, if you could spend 6 months in Portugal and see what life was like there, and then 3 months in India, and then 12 months in China, and so on and so forth, where the world was literally open to you, where you could go and experience things and meet different people and not worry about safety, not worry about money, not worry about food. And Yeah, that would be great. I mean, it sounds utopian, so it probably is quite far-fetched.
No, I don't know. I mean,
farcical.
the platform I'm on have been offered unbelievable opportunities. I was in Cape Town about 6 weeks ago, and I was supposed to be interviewed by the hotel manager. I collaborate with them, which I'm very blessed with. And as I got there, she said, "I hope you don't mind." So I said, "What?" And she said, "But there's a Brazilian journalist here who would like to interview you." So
that's pretty cool.
I got interviewed by her, and she would like me. So I've actually been drawn into the tourism sector quite a lot. She would like me to go to Brazil to promote South Africa, and likewise, when Brazilians come here from her company, she would like me to host them, show them places like nice casinos, nice restaurants, the beach. You know, be a
Moses
good,
Mabhida,
welcoming.
show them the nice places.
Yeah, Moses Mabhida, be a welcoming guest. I was with a friend the other day at a hotel in Joburg, and he makes a point of saying, "Welcome to South Africa," to everyone that's a tourist around him. And I just thought, sure, that's got quite a powerful impact.
Yeah, you know, someone would highlight this, especially if you travel a lot. You'd be able to quickly see the difference between countries that are geared for tourism. I think of Dubai, I think of Abu Dhabi, I think of certain places in the States, I think about certain places in Paris, actually more France when you go to Euro Disney. There's certain places that are geared towards tourism, where everyone is smiling and they want to give you their best impression. Everyone will greet you and tell you, you know, welcome, and you feel really calm and fantastic being there. And it's always quite stark. And you know, I love South Africa. South Africa is the best country in the world for me. So I don't want it to come across as I'm trying to, you know, knock my own country. That's not the case. I love this country. But I feel like we don't have that. I mean, from the time you get your passport stamped, we've had good experiences where you get a friendly person who'll greet you and you're like, "Oh, how was your trip?" etc. But most times it's almost like, you know, the person there just doesn't want to be there. You know, there's a lot of acrimony when it comes to that type of function. And then, you know, you get into your car, your Uber, and your Uber driver's not the best. And now suddenly that puts a dampener on you. And then you get to your hotel and they don't even greet you, or they don't tell you, you know, welcome, or, you know, here's the facilities, here's the Wi-Fi password, or, you know, the basic stuff. They don't make you feel welcome. So there's a lot that's so beautiful about this country, because I have yet to meet a tourist who hasn't said South Africa is one of the most beautiful countries they've ever been to. And I've been lucky, I've traveled a lot, and honestly, South Africa is one of the best countries in the world. But we don't highlight that. And we don't spend enough time explaining to our people in the tourism industry, and even those that are in support functions for government and AXA, etc., why it's important for that person to feel special the moment they land, right up until the moment they leave, because that is the memory that they'll hold and they'll keep behind. There's very few countries I can say that was the case for me, and I think unfortunately a lot of them have been on the European side and on the Asian side, a few on the Asian side. You know, Africa, we tend to be lagging in that way, which is sad, because Zanzibar was like one of the most fun experiences I had with beach bums, you know, the guys on the beach. I think for me it was so amazing, because I mean, it's a very poor country, but I dropped my wallet on the beach while I was walking, and I came back an hour later and the beach bums were calling me saying, come, your wallet is there. I was like, wow, imagine in a country where poverty is such a big thing.
Yeah.
But they just knew that, you know, stealing from a tourist would hurt them on a profound level. Or maybe I got lucky, maybe that was my experience there. But I feel like there's a lot that we can learn, and yeah, we've got to do better. And I love that you're involved in the tourism industry, and I think it comes with that knowledge and responsibility and benefit of being able to create a canvas that's better.
Yeah.
You know, for our tourists.
Well, that's what what I want to say is that I hear you 100% with everything, but the good news is there are people in the right places trying to get all of that right. So I've spent the year with places like Vedhasa, Kiba, ASP movement, who are Forward Durban, or Change the Narrative. They've got a couple names that they go by. And they are all movements that are uplifting KZN as well as South Africa, specifically in the tourism industry. And then, I mean, I did even notice, and they have monthly events, by the way, so if you want to get involved, please do. I did notice at the airport the other day, they've put a lot of work into the tourism stand there, and they've got quite a lot of different documents that you can kind of look at to go to different venues, but then they had one special pack for tourists and with all of the information, and that's new. And so I can see the effort levels there. I think it's important to put the right people in the right places, like you were saying, you know, people that want to be there, they want that job, they're not just there for because it's money.
Paycheck, yeah.
So I am watching the development down the north